The courts across the country are just resuming from their annual vacation, and this case may just be an indication of the very busy schedule ahead of them. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission arraigned 7 defendants before Justice Babs Kewumi of the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos. A former special advisor on domestic affairs to former President Goodluck Jonathan, Warikpamo Owe-Dudafa, is the first defendant in the charge. He was charged alongside a lawyer, Amadui Briggs, a banker, Demola Bolodeku, and 4 companies on an amended 15-count charge. In the first count, the 7 defendants were said to have conspired to conceal $15,591,700, a sum which they reasonably ought to have known formed part of the proceeds of an unlawful act of stealing, an offense contrary to Section 18A of the Money Laundering Prohibition Amendment Act 2012 and punishable under Section 15(3) of the same act. If convicted, the offense carries a jail term of not less than 7 but not more than 14 years. It was a lengthy legal battle to get the defendants to take their plea, especially as the 4 companies did not have legal representation. The other defense lawyers strenuously argued that the EFCC could have picked anyone from the streets and passed them off as representatives of the company. They insisted that the representatives ought to provide a letter from their companies authorizing them to appear before the judge. But counsel to the EFCC, Rotimi Oyedepo, countered by saying that the men were listed as directors in the company's registration records. He insisted that the anti-graft agency had proof. The charges were eventually read to the defendants, and interestingly, the former presidential aide, the lawyer, and the banker pleaded not guilty. But the representatives of the 4 defendant companies entered a guilty plea. The implication of this under the Money Laundering Prohibition Amendment Act is that the companies would be wound up with its assets forfeited to the federal government. The twist to this case is that the monies in these companies have been claimed by Mrs. Patience Jonathan, the wife of former President Goodluck Jonathan. While conducting its investigation, the EFCC had frozen the company's accounts lodged with Skybank PLC by placing a no-debit order on them. But the former First Lady last week filed a fundamental rights enforcement suit against the EFCC and Skybank, claiming that the money, which the EFCC said were proceeds of theft, belongs to her. In the suit, which is yet to be argued in court, Mrs. Jonathan is seeking a court order to compel the EFCC to lift the no-debit order. She is also seeking damages against Skybank in the sum of 200 million naira for what she termed a violation of her right to own personal property under Section 44 of the Constitution. With the guilty plea of the companies and the likely forfeiture of the monies, it will be interesting to see the next moves of the former First Lady. In the meantime, the lawyer and the banker have been granted bail in the sum of 250 million naira each. The former presidential aide has been directed to formally file his bail application. The defendants will all remain in prison custody till they perfect their bail. Trial is expected to commence on the 27th of September. Shola Shoyele, Channels Television News.